Hello, and welcome back to Ragnar Reads with your host, Ragnar Ulfsson. So, today we have an interesting piece that was requested of me. It is titled True and Wonderful, a discourse relating a strange and monstrous serpent or dragon. And so this is from a pamphlet from England, 1614, in the month of August. And at one point in the story later, it will mention a coney warren. That is a rabbit warren. Also, this would be the equivalent to a news article today. So, with that in mind, let us get started. True and Wonderful, a discourse relating a strange and monstrous serpent or dragon, lately discovered and yet living, to the great annoyance and divers, slaughters both men and cattle by his strong and violent poison. In Sussex, 2 miles from Horsham, in a wood called St. Leonard's Forest, and 30 miles from London, this present month of August, 1614. Printed at London by John Trundle, 1614. To the reader, the just reward of him that is accustomed to lie is not to be believed when he speaketh the truth, so just an occasion may sometimes be imposed upon the pamphleting pressers, and therefore, if we receive the same reward, we cannot much blame our accusers, which often falls out either by our forward credulity to but seeming true reports, or by false copies translated from other languages, which, though we beget not, we foster, and our shame is little the less. But by passing what's past, let not our present truth blush for any former falsehood's sake. The country is near us Sussex, the time present August, the subject a serpent, strange, yet now a neighbor to us. And it were more the impudence to forge a lie so near home that every man might turn in our throats. Believe it, or read it not, or read it doubting, for I believe ere thou hast read this little all, thou wilt not doubt of one, but believe there are many serpents in England. Farewell. By A.R., he that would send better news, if he had it. A discourse, a strange and monstrous serpent or dragon. In Sussex there is a pretty market town called Horsham, near unto it a forest called St. Leonard's Forest, and there a fast and unfrequented place, healthy, vaulty, full of unwholesome shades and overgrown hollows, where this serpent is thought to be bred. But, wherever so bred, certain and true is it that there it yet lives. Within 3 or 4 mile compasses are its usual haunts, oftentimes at a place called Faygate. And it hath been seen within 1/2 mile of Horsham, a wonder no doubt, most terrible and noisome to the inhabitants thereabouts. There is always in its track or path left a glutinous and slimy matter, as by a small similitude we may perceive in a snail's, which is very corrupt and offensive to the scent, insomuch that they perceive the air to be putrefied withal, which must needs be very dangerous. For though the corruption of it cannot strike the outward part of a man, unless heated into his blood, yet by receiving it at any of our breathing organs, the mouth or nose, it is by authority of all authors writing in that kind, mortal and deadly, as one once saith, Noxia serpentum est admixto sanguine pestis, Lucan. The serpent, or dragon as some call it, is to be reputed to be 9 feet, or rather more, in length, and shaped almost in the form of an axle-tree of a cart, and a quality of thickness in the midst, and somewhat smaller at both ends. The former part, which he shooth forth as a neck, is supposed to be an ell long, with a white ring, as it were, of scales about it. The scales along his back seem to be blackish, and so much as is discovered under his belly appeareth to be red. For I speak of no nearer description than that of a reasonable ocular distance. For coming too near it hath already been too dearly paid for, as you shall hear hereafter. It is likewise discovered to have large feet, but the eye may there be deceived. For some suppose the serpents have no feet, but glide upon certain ribs and scales, both which defend from them the upper part of their throat unto the lower part of their belly, and also cause them to move much the faster. For so this doth, and rids way, as we call it, as fast as a man can run. He is of countenance very proud, and, at the sight or hearing of men or cattle, will raise his neck upright, and seem to listen and look about with arrogancy. There are likewise on either side of him discovered 2 great bunches so big as a large football, and, as some think, will in time grow to wings. But God, I hope, will defend the poor people in this neighborhood, that he shall be destroyed before he grows so fledged. He will cast his venom about 4 rod from him, and by woeful experience it was proved on the bodies of men and women coming that way, who afterwards were found dead, being poisoned and very much swelled, but not preyed upon. Likewise a man going to chase it, and as he imagined to destroy it, with 2 mastiff dogs, as yet not knowing the great danger of it, his dogs were both killed, and he himself glad to return with haste, to preserve his own life. Yet this is to be noted, that the dogs were not preyed upon, but slain and left whole, for his food is thought to be, as the most part, in a coney warren, which he much frequents. and it is to be found much scanted and impaired in the increase it is wont to afford. These persons whose names are hereunder printed have seen this serpent, besides divers others, as the carrier of Horsham, who lieth at the White Horse in Southwark, and who can certify the truth of all that has been related here. John Steele, Christopher Holder, and a widow woman dwelling near Faygate. Some things of note that I find interesting is the descriptions of the coloration of the scales, the appearance of it, it's how it acts, the fact that it did not try to eat the two people that it supposedly killed or the two large dogs, which would make sense given it was described as only being 9 feet long, and it would make sense that if it was real, that rabbits would be its primary diet. And also the descriptions of its spitting venom I thought was very interesting. So, tell me what you thought. Like, comment, subscribe, let me know down below what you would like for me to read next, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day and a great weekend.